Gentlemen, thanks for being with me today, and congratulations for being in the film. I have to say, I really, really liked it a lot more than the other productions I'd seen. Zach, I'll start with you. You play Harold in the film. He's a self-described pockmarked Jew fairy, and he's unlike any character I've ever seen you play before. He's very much a force of nature, very much an acidic character. My question for you is, do you see Harold as a hero in the piece or a villain?
I mean, I see Harold as a human. I think he's somebody who has deeply examined his own neuroses and his own self-loathing to the degree that he's been able to transform it into a kind of power, a kind of sharp-witted observational remove from the world around him, and I think he's a really complex and really dynamic character. I don't really know where he lies on a moral spectrum. I mean, I think he's an antagonist to Michael, but I think he's also a confidant to Michael, and I don't think that either of their lives would be as fulfilled without the other one in it.
Sure, that's a great answer. Charlie, you're having a hell of a month between Boys in the Band and now Ratched, getting you a lot of attention. In the Boys in the Band, you play the Cowboy. He's a male sex worker and a very, very fun character. I want to ask you about a specific moment in the film between Cowboy and another character, and I won't say who it is because I don't want to give it away. But Cowboy leans over and puts his head on somebody's shoulder at one point in the film, which is something I thought was a very interesting development for the character. In your mind, do you see Cowboy as having real affections for this man that he's with, or is he just doing his job?
I do see Cowboy having real affections, but I think Cowboy has real affections for almost anyone. At least that's sort of the, I don't know, consciousness I was playing with. I think Cowboy, in some ways, was delivered from a not so pleasant place into New York City, and thus everything in it has some kind of magic. And yes, he's a professional, and there is an aspect of the job that is, I don't know, not about having any kind of real intimacy. But I think Cowboy is just a character of affection. So
He's also wasted at that moment too. Like
That is a great point.
so stoned.
he just woke up from a nap like 5 minutes before they got in the
feels
cab.
really
so,
good.
It could just be
Yeah.
tired.
That is an excellent,
Thank you for
excellent
bringing
point.
it back down. Yes, Cowboy is.
Both of you guys get to reprise your parts that you played on Broadway, which is really exciting. Mark Crowley, the playwright of Boys in the Band, was still alive when you were working on the play version, and again, when you started work on the film version. I'm wondering what kind of direction or insight did he give you into your two characters privately? Zach, I'll start with you.
Well, I learned a lot about Howard Jeffrey, the man on whom Harold is based, and Howard was a very important part of Mart's life. There are things in the piece in the play turned movie that are directly lifted from their experience. The picture frame that Michael gives Harold in the film is something that actually passed between Howard and Mart. And I learned a lot about the duality of who Harold is, who Howard was. That they could have these kind of vile conflicts, and yet on the other side of them, return to a place of true affection and value for one another, and that's something that I felt really grateful for. Just having Mart's presence in our experience of doing the play and filming the movie was a real gift, and as sad as it is that he's not here with us to celebrate the release of the film, I think we're all really grateful to know that he supported it and was excited by it and was there to watch us putting it together last summer.
Absolutely. Charlie, what about you? What did Mark tell you about Cowboy?
Oh gosh, I just had some of the nicest conversations with Mart that were just about what it was like to be young and chasing a good time in the 60s. I think Cowboy came from one interaction he had in Fire Island one summer, who was originally a sailor, a sex worker, somebody who was clearly a sex worker who was dressed as a sailor at a party. And that's where the line, I try to show a little affection comes from. It was something that sailor said, and Mart, it's on camera somewhere too. He just in that moment went, oh God, I could never write anything like that. But
it's such a beautiful moment when Mart talks about it and gets emotional.
It's so beautiful. Yeah. But he really imparted unto me just a sense of, I don't know, for all of the restrictions and sort of shame cast on gay life in the late 1960s, there was a lot of joy and a lot of celebration, a lot of fun to be had. And having him kind of share that with me and pass a torch of, I don't know, permission to do the same was really, really special.
That's wonderful. Guys, congratulations on the film. I think you're both splendid in it. Yeah, thanks so much for chatting with me today.